seriously, what are you guys doing? I thought we weren't working on the junk pile today. Well, first off, you won't work on her, and for point B, we're not working today.
Oh, that's
we're
right.
Just showing her off.
You
You didn't make me wear that lame getup today. Oh, and the shirt you're wearing isn't lame? Yeah, and hey, actually we do need to replace the brakes on this soon, so it's not a death trap anymore. And we will. You guys did that 3 months ago, you know. Dude, seriously, don't break the fourth wall here. I'm trying my best. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I haven't broken any walls, let alone 3 others. I don't know what you're talking about, but, well, yeah, spoiler alert. I'm going. The brakes were done a while ago, and it was so worth it, but it took a lot longer than it should have, and, well, that was all my fault. So watch along and learn from my mistakes so that on your Miata, it won't take as long to finish it. Oh, and trust me, you're gonna want a Miata eventually. I somehow switched to slow motion with no audio on my way to and from the auto parts store to get some of the things we need. So enjoy the scenic audio-less shots of me. I forget what I said. Hopefully it was something good, or maybe not, because then it's gone. But we're gonna get back to the car where I'm gonna show you some of the things, like some of the brake parts and some of the tools we need, as well as what we need to work on the idle air control valve, and maybe some brake pedal covers as well, just to have something easy to do, because, spoiler, the brakes aren't gonna go too well. What you're seeing is gonna be what I did on Saturday. Another spoiler, I didn't finish the brakes till that following Tuesday. So this is just one day of work that I got some things done. But the first step is going to be taking off this rear wheel, which before you lift the car, you should loosen the lug nuts so that you can take them off easier, which I didn't do. So I might have to put the car back down. I did not loosen the lug nuts before lifting the car, as I've done numerous times. To get the lug nuts off, but apparently you should chock the wheels if your parking brake doesn't work that well, like mine. So adding to the list. And I don't have an impact to make it easy, so I had to let the car back down, which still didn't make it easy. These lug nuts were far too tight. The list I mentioned is my to-do list for this car, which has a few dozen things that I didn't notice when I bought it due to my poor inspection. I think the previous owner thought the torque spec for the wheels here was 3 Ugga-Duggas, when for Miata it's actually 2 Ugga-Duggas putting it back on. So we'll make sure we torque it correctly when we put it back. Now, being a few months ago, some of the things on that list have been taken care of, but most of them I still haven't. So there's plenty of work left to do. There's plenty of exciting things coming up too. I talked about wanting to get this car first, just to get it registered. Secondly, to get it daily drivable. Thirdly, maybe to make it a bit more fun. And finally, maybe make it even more fun, like a track toy. Well, I got it registered. I mostly got it daily drivable, but kind of skipped to, now I just want to make it as fun as possible. I have a breaker bar, but I think it's 3/8 drive because this is 1/2-inch drive, and I don't have a 3/8 socket the right size. So again, I'm, well, out of sockets. So we gotta make this work because I'm not going to the store. He's on a roll again. So the jack stand supporting the one end and stepping on it got one loose. So I guess now we just gotta rotate the tire till we get all 4, because apparently, even with the car sitting on its own weight, instead we lift it. What a hunk! Too strong. And if I go the other way and stand on it, it'll wobble. So I've got to try to get the seized caliper off by taking off a 14mm bolt, some other bolts, and I'm going to find out that being seized, it won't slide off, and I'll have to take the whole caliper bracket off with it and replace everything, the whole caliper. I didn't know it at the time, so here are some of the challenges.
The bolt down here is a 10mm. We could use this one, but since I have the little baby ratchet, let's get that new 10mm socket and break it in. I just lost one.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm so happy. I don't know why, but the 1/4-inch drive, deep 10mm socket, it's got to be one of my favorites right now. And it doesn't fit. I can't even use it. Why do I waste my money on things? Back to the baby ratchet with a shorter 10mm, since I got stuck with the 3/8 drive. This caliper's been needing some encouragement to get out of there. So I got it now swiveled out of the way, but now we need to slide it off this pin straight back. My encouragement hasn't been enough yet, but the pads fell out and we can see how warped it is. So it's a good thing that we just decided to replace these instead of taking this all the way off right now. We got to figure out why it's stuck, but I'm just going to try to take the caliper bracket off and then take a look at that in a moment. And with those 14 mil bolts out, we can slide off the bracket and we'll take a look at why this is not coming out, because it should be able to come right off, but we'll be able to now take off our rotor, clean up the new one, put the new brake pads in, and reassemble this side.
So here I am doing the easiest thing I did all day and still struggling to get the rubber around the pedals, but it still cleans up the interior just that little bit more and, I mean, provides grip.
I mean, I guess this isn't necessary, but it'll make me feel better. Okay, they just have this lip that has to go around the pedal, and it's already a bit harder than I was hoping. Not that it's gonna be hard, but I was hoping for an easy win. I don't know if there's a right way or wrong way, so I'll do one each. So at least if there's a right way up, I got it right half the time. I realize on the dead pedal that's in here that the chevron part is pointing up, not down, but I need a way to tell the difference between my clutch and my brake anyway, so we're gonna have to leave it like that.
I really thought I was funny a few months ago, apparently.
The reason I switched up for an easy win is because I remembered we didn't finish the job from last week. So we got to get the extractors in here, and you're supposed to drill them out first. I might do that, but I think I already did a good enough job stripping them.
Here's me showing how well I stripped the bolts that I almost don't have to drill them out to get the extractor bits in, but I did and still struggled to get them out.
Then we'll extract them, hopefully. And this should definitely be done in a vise of some sort. The drill bit they told me to use is bigger than the extractor, so I guess I got to go even deeper. So we'll keep on drilling until this can catch. The extractor worked mostly okay. We got one out, but because I didn't do it right, now we have a screw head and screw in the threads.
Come to find out, just after removing the head of the screw, the body of it just easily came out with barely any pressure. I don't know how
spinning
it
the
was
drill
stuck.
bit on the end of it the wrong direction, it was loose enough to come out. So I don't know why they were stuck, but we've got them out now. Yeah, look at all this gunk, this just red dirt, I think, maybe rust. So it looks like the side door coolant might have some rust or just dirt in there. It's really orange, but we're gonna try to clean out this side as well, where the air side of it is. And if this clears out a clog, that'll be great. We don't wanna replace the whole idle air control valve. So I looked it up and it's either $700 or $1,200. I'm not gonna do that. I'll convert to drive-by-wire first. Okay, back to the brakes. If it's stuck, you might have to, again, encourage it. About 5 minutes later of spinning and hitting, I think we've encouraged it enough. Brake it. I'll let that back on just to keep it in place while you reassemble the rest.
Look at me wasting my time. Here I'm complaining about getting the wrong brake rotors, but little did I know, I assumed that the front rotors are bigger than the rear rotors, like in most cars they are, so the bigger boxes must have been the front, so the smaller boxes were the rear. I think all my rotors were the same diameter, but the fronts have those cooling fins and the rears don't. So the fronts don't fit on the rears won't fit on the front. You'll pick up on it before I do, trust me.
And we'll hopefully replace the rotor soon enough, maybe even without driving it. Except maybe to the DMV, so that we don't cause any damage from it or keep the new pads from being able to work well with the new rotors when they get replaced. Okay, with this grease, we do want to grease any parts that are moving as we put these brake pads in, so it's going to be the slides on either end.
Also consider greasing the calipers where it touches the pads instead of the whole pad for some reason, like I did.
I should have mentioned, by the way, don't put grease on your rotor or the face of the brake pad. It's only on the back. And you can also get a cheaper, this $12 tool to help compress that piston on the brake caliper so that we can put it back on these new brake pads, since they should be thicker, and they are, especially than that one that was really worn. And you can use an old brake pad to press up against that if, you know, this, like it is, too small to actually fully cover the piston.
Fun fact, seized calipers will not compress again, and you should probably replace it.
So this brake caliper tool, This knob was too small, so we're gonna see 5 zip ties can keep a breaker bar on here with enough force to fully compress a piston in a caliper that might be
along at home with
seized
this.
up. So this is the proper way to use a breaker bar. I'll let you know if it works. Update, they were not enough. 3 already broke off. And 1 finger smashed later. And we'll figure out what we gotta do. Last episode I was all happy-go-lucky, but sometimes I guess you take stuff apart to realize you got the wrong part here.
But I got the wrong part. What I'm saying is, I'm just dumb. Don't be like me.
Cheap tool that's not good for an almost 30-year-old car with seized parts. You can't compress it enough to get the new pads in. So at least we got some practice today. It's not the most encouraging practice, but we should be better at least fixing the new side. Let's see if we can get the new side apart and get the new caliper in. Maybe it's a long shot, but we'll see.
Here I go to try to speed run.
Let's see if this practice lets me speed run this side. It's a little after 4. We'll see. I leave in about 40 minutes. So let's see if we can get this done before I gotta go. This side has gone way quicker with the bracket already back on to put the caliper on, but it might be because it was already taken apart. But that's because when I first took this apart, the caliper basically just fell on off. So this really needed replaced.
And I don't have the brake spring clips there for that side, so
I cannot install these new brake pads on this side either. So today really is just a day of getting nothing accomplished. But knowing what I need now, I can order the right parts and finish up next time. Well, I got to end off for today, and I
just wanted to get one thing done today, and I still was out of time. And I guess I was out of sockets again. Not actually, but I was just too lazy to sort through the mess on the ground of the car and find what I needed, and I just had to get cleaned up and go to church. So that's where I left off, unfortunately.